tonight to the American Recovery Plan virtual meeting. I hope everyone's doing well. My name is Jimmy Keefe. I'm one of your county commissioners and the chairman of the American Recovery Plan for Cumberland County. I am joined tonight by our vice chair, Mr. Commissioner Glenn Adams, and the other member of our committee is Commissioner Tony Stewart, who is not with us right now, but will be coming in virtually. So tonight is an opportunity for you to participate in spending of American Recovery Funds in Cumberland County. We hope that you will be forthright. We hope that you will share your passion and you will let us know what you think, because tonight is truly a listening session from us to you. I am joined tonight with our county manager, Ms. Amy Cannon, our assistant county manager, Mr. Tracy Jackson, Ms. Sally Shutt, city manager, Mr. Douglas Hewitt, our assistant manager, Angel Lene Wright, and our clerk, Ms. Candace White. And hopefully there's a lot of people joining us electronically. So the format we've been using in the past has proved to be a very welcome opportunity for citizens to participate. After my welcome, I'll turn it over to our county manager, Ms. Amy Cannon, to let us know what the standards are by the Department of Commerce on how this money can be spent. Ms. Cannon.
Thank you, Commissioner Keefe. Good evening. I'm Amy Cannon, your county manager, and we hope this evening that you'll enjoy sharing your participation. It will be interactive, but before we do that, I think it would be helpful if you have a better understanding of how the funds can be spent. The Treasury, U.S. Treasury, has worked on the guidance. There is still interim guidance available, but this is the best information that we have today. Next slide. Okay. So the American Rescue Plan was signed into law by the President Biden on March 11th, 2021. These funds were allocated to all states, local governments, territorial and tribal governments to assist in the response and the mitigation of COVID-19. Cumberland County has been very fortunate in that we expect to receive $65 million. The next slide that you're viewing this evening has a few key details about the funds. The eligible expenses that may be charged against these funds may be between March 31st, 2021 through December 31st, 2024. All funds must be obligated or encumbered by December 31st, 2024. Now I'll move into some of the eligible uses of the funds. The first category is to support the public health response. As you know, we are dealing now with the Delta variant of the virus. Our local COVID numbers are increasing, and that is a clear indication that our public health department will continue to need resources to fight this virus, to mitigate the spread and continue the vaccinations for months or maybe even years. These funds were allocated for that purpose. I think all of us can acknowledge that COVID-19 has certainly changed every aspect of what we do on a daily basis. But beyond that, I don't think we can the fact that the pandemic has certainly had an effect both from a mental health point of view, emotional, and behavioral. And so these funds also may be used to enhance behavioral health services, mental health treatment, substance misuse treatment, crisis intervention, and the like. Planning is a huge part of what we do from a public health standpoint. Preparedness is important for any type of event, whether it's a natural disaster or a pandemic. Funding can also be used for planning purposes. And finally, the final category under public health is to address public health disparities. Each of us acknowledge that there are some individuals and citizens that don't have access to quality health care, and the pandemic has widened that gap. These funds can be used for disparities. The next category addresses the negative economic impacts caused by the pandemic. As you know, the pandemic has created significant economic and financial hardships. Although many jobs have been restored nationally and locally, we're still below the pre-pandemic levels of employment. So these funds may be used for assistance to households, such as assistance with food, rent, mortgages, utilities, home repairs, etc. But we can't forget the impact on small business. Many small businesses have been negatively impacted, and funds can be used for grants or in-kind assistance for small businesses, as well as nonprofits that provide key services and critical services in our community. And finally, under this section, we can't forget certain sectors that have been impacted, such as the tourism, travel, and hospitality sectors. These sectors were negatively impacted by the economic shutdown, or really even longer than that period of time. The next category is premium pay for essential workers. Throughout this crisis, public health workers have put their well-being at risk each day to make sure that our citizens have been served. Many of these essential workers are in those low-wage tiers, or those that have been disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. Because of this, the premium pay is intended to compensate essential workers for the heightened risk that they've taken every day through this extended COVID-19 pandemic. The next category is investment in water and sewer infrastructure. Congress included this category because they realize the critical role that clean drinking water and wastewater treatment systems play in improving and protecting public health. In our community, many of you know that we have wells that have some level of contamination, and we have many failing septic tanks throughout the community. This is an important category for investment for our community. The next category is investment in broadband. The pandemic has certainly highlighted the impact of, or the need for available, high-speed, reliable, and affordable broadband. Many families had to rely on remote learning and broadband, and many children were not able to ever sign on because they either did not have access to broadband or it was unaffordable. Businesses also deployed employees home to work remotely to mitigate the spread of the virus, and many medical appointments have been handled telehealth through the internet as well. The next category is replacing public sector revenue loss. Many local governments have suffered revenue losses in their local revenues, such as sales tax. We're very fortunate in Cumberland County. Cumberland County is resilient. Actually, our sales tax actually went up this year. And so because of the presence of the military and the stimulus funding, we did not suffer in the area of sales tax loss. The final category is an important category, and it focuses solely on equity services. The guidance from the Treasury emphasizes services to those communities or demographic groups that have been greatly or disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. We have people in our communities, again, that have been struggling before the pandemic, but the pandemic has widened the gap either from a housing standpoint, food insecurity, or inability to pay utilities and rent and the like. And so we have been allowed to use these funds to promote healthy environments for children, to bridge those educational disparities, or also the disparities in housing or public health. And so at this time, I'm pleased again to be joined by my counterpart with the City of Bevel, Mr. Douglas Hewitt.
Thank you, Amy, and thank the commissioners for being here as well. I'd actually like to recognize my Mayor Pro Tem, Kathy Jensen. Didn't know if you wanted to say a few words before I go on my slide.
Yes, thank you. First of all, before I get started, I would have to say that I have to say something about Mr. Chris, that, I'd like to recognize that his passing last night, about 24 hours ago. But thank you for having me. I am Mayor Pro Tem Kathy Jensen, and I want to thank y'all thank the county for putting this event on and allowing us to be part of the conversation. I also know that the City Council is working diligently to mirror the county's process by creating a small committee council members, who will attend listening sessions and bringing back information to our residents. Our council members, we talk about how to vet and give policy advisement to staff in order to cut down on any of the delays caused by bureaucracy and make sure that our resources are available. We would like to focus on our infrastructure and our housing. Without infrastructure and housing, we cannot improve our city. And I finally want to ensure that everything we do as a council is focused on our citizens. Again, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And for the city's portion, as she mentioned, we are hopeful that we will be able to take the feedback that we'll get in just a few moments from those people, citizens who are on the line listening and participating in this meeting. In addition, we hope to also have some of our own listening sessions later this fall. But along with the county, the city directly received $40.4 million in ARPA funds. We have partnered with iParametrics, a consulting firm, and it is our hope that by doing so, we'll be able to find the best uses of those funds, as well as to make sure that we don't duplicate any funding opportunities that we might get from grants or from other sources. But just to give you a kind of viewpoint on this once-in-a-lifetime funding opportunity we have, $40.4 million is an awful lot of money, but that already joins the other $35 million that the city of Fayetteville received earlier. And the city and the county have been using those earlier funds to be able to help people pay their rent, pay utilities, as well as to provide grants and loans to small businesses. And so we're very excited about receiving the feedback tonight from the folks who are participating in this meeting. And again, it's our hope that in the next coming weeks, the city will roll out a similar process by where we'll be able to get additional feedback from our residents about how they'd like for the city council to begin allocating that $40.4 million. And with that said, I'll turn it over to Assistant County Managers Sally Shudd and Assistant County Manager Dr. Angel Wright-Levine.
Thank you. Now, if you have not logged in yet and you would like to participate in our polling portion of tonight's meeting, please go to slido.com and enter code 517527. The QR code is there on your screen. So we are going to open up the polls and ask you some questions. Our first question is, this is just some fun questions up front. You are in a race right now. What place are you in when you pass the person in second place? All right. You can see the responses there. We're going to move on to the next question. And also, I want to remind you, there's still time before we get to the questions related to ARP funding for you to log in. If you're watching this, please log in so you can participate and answer questions.
So we're going to do the second question. Next question. Okay, so please rank the funding categories in priority order of importance. Select the appropriate letter. Okay, are we ready for the results? Okay, we have those results. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks like it's very close between supporting public health expenditures, investment in water and sewer infrastructure, addressing negative economic impacts. We're still getting questions, yeah. Responses. Yeah, responses, yeah.
Okay, it's very evenly split, so. Next question. Thank you all.
Our next question is ranking. Please rank the following examples of programs and services designed to address the public health impacts of COVID-19 from 1 to 4, with 1 being the most important and 4 the least important. A, services and programs to prevent, mitigate, and respond to COVID-19. B, enhance behavioral and mental health services. Improve the design and execution of health and public health programs to address needs. And D, address disparities in public health outcomes.
It's all pretty even. That's true. And you don't know. There could be one house with 5 people in it, you know.
So our results, we see that in first place, enhanced services and programs to prevent, mitigate, back and forth. Enhanced behavioral and mental health services and programs to prevent, mitigate responses to COVID, improve design.
All right, so question 3. Please rank the following examples of programs and services designed to address the negative economic impacts of COVID-19 from 1 to 4, 1 being the most important, 4 being the least important. A is assistance to households with things like food, rent, utilities, case management. B is assistance to small businesses, loans, grants, technical assistance. C is assistance to nonprofits, loans, grants, technical assistance. And D is aid to impacted industries, tourism, travel, hospitalities, and other impacted industries. Please rank from 1 to 4. Okay, we see the results. Looks like A, or 1, is assistance to household, and in second place is number 2.
Please rank the following examples of programs and services designed to address disproportionately impacted communities from 1 to 4, 1 being the most important or the least. A, services to address homelessness. B, affordable housing development. C, addressing educational disparities magnified by the public health emergency. And D, promoting healthy environments for children. New or expanded high-quality child care, home visiting programs for health, parent education, and other programs. solve to affordable housing, followed by addressing educational disparities and services to address homelessness.
All right, so Rick, next question, please, Al. Rank the following types of infrastructure projects or programs in order of priority. Select the appropriate letter in the order you like. First keyed, highest priority. Last keyed, lowest priority. A is public water projects to improve access to clean drinking water. B is provide public sewer to address septic tank problems. C is projects to improve resilience of infrastructure to severe weather events. And D is broadband infrastructure to unserved or underserved communities. Okay, it looks like we're pretty much tied. Providing water projects, providing public sewer, provide projects to improve resilience to infrastructure, and then last place would be broadband infrastructure.
Our next question will ask you to type in your response. Are there any additional programs, services, or projects that the county should consider for ARP funding? Please type in your responses. All right, we'll begin reading those for those of you who are watching and not participating in the poll. Transformational and generational projects that advance sustained equity, economic opportunity, and development and overall quality of life. EMT training and development. Mobile police units in high-risk, underserved communities.
An indoor aquatic center would help our schools and our communities and bring in tourism, community centers in county areas to provide something for children to do, giving COVID-19 food relief funding to all working people, even if you don't have children. Food prices have gone up since COVID-19 due to food stamp recipients getting extra funds every month. Work on transportation options to enhance healthcare accessibility, children's behavioral health resources, more child care and elder care services, and homeless shelter.
Using funds to help bring in and create another business that will create sustainable jobs, not another small business/restaurant. More pay for the frontline essential workers. Food bank expansion projects. Increasing the capacity of the workforce development program. Public safety.
Indoor aquatic facility in at-risk underserved community. It qualifies under the rules. More money allocated to Habitat for Humanity for more affordable homes to be built in Fayetteville and Cumberland County. Health facilities in areas with little or no access, transportation to underserved areas, and funding for struggling small businesses. Would an aquatic indoor pool be qualified under ARP funding? Medicaid expansion, transformational projects in low-income communities and communities of color. Don't give for-profit entities the government money as freebies. They should pay it back with their profits.
Veterans Affairs Services, health for teachers, education opportunities and trade vocations for wages above the HUD poverty threshold, funding and testing for untested rape kits. Please end the rape kit backlog.
Public school facilities, plumbing needs an update. Public safety when applicable. Stipend to individuals who have been vaccinated in an effort to encourage and entice others to be vaccinated. Food bank expansion of services and facilities. Help the GC area combat, Grays Creek area combat Gen X.
And we still have food and medical deserts in Cumberland County. Spend money on Second Harvest Facility, providing money to FSU so that they may in turn provide more scholarships, assistance in development of the Fayetteville metro area.
Lower downtown needs a new recreation center, a new building with computers and exercise equipment, life skills classes and mentors, better police pay and training. That's it.
All right. Thank you so much for submitting those responses. Now we'll move on to the next question. We are trying to get some demographic information on you. Next question. Are you a Cumberland County resident? Yes or no? Thank you.
All right, the next question is, if you live in the city of Fayetteville, please select your zip code. Okay, looks like 28% in 28301, 17% tie for 28303, 304, 28314, 17, 28311, 11, and then 28306 and 28312, each have 6%.
Next question. If you live in other areas of Cumberland County, please select your zip code. Thank you. 28348 and 28390 are the top zip codes of our participants, and then followed by 28306.
All right, so the next question is, has the COVID-19 crisis negatively affected your family financially? A, not at all, B, very little, C, somewhat, and D, severely. Okay, looks like somewhat is 41%, not at all, 23, well, just changed. Very little, 26, not at all, 22, and severely 13%.
Our next question. Do you have access to affordable high-speed broadband at home? At 91%, yes, they do have access to high-speed broadband at home.
Next question is, what is your relationship to Cumberland County? A, live in Cumberland County. B, work in Cumberland County. it looks like 80%, 86% have both types of relationships, but work and live in Cumberland County. Only 9% work in Cumberland County alone, and 5% live in Cumberland County.
All right, our next question. Do you own or operate a small business in Cumberland County? Yes or no? All right, about 27% are small business owners.
Okay, the next question is, are you connected in some way to the military? Yes or no? All right, so 64% said no, 36% said yes.
All right, we're closing in on the finish line here. Next question. Are you a veteran or spouse of a veteran? Yes or no? %, of our participants are veterans or spouses of veterans.
Next question. Are you affiliated with a nonprofit organization that provides services to citizens who have been negatively affected by COVID-19? Yes or no? 52% said yes, 48% said no.
Next question, how old are you? The ranges are under 18, 18 to 34, 35 to 54, or 55 or older. Percent are 35 to 54, followed by those who are 55 or older at 32%, and 5% are 18 to 34.
Next question. Most people think of themselves as belonging to a particular ethnic or racial group. How do you identify yourself? Your choices are A, African American / Black, C, Caucasian, white, not Hispanic, D, Hispanic / Latino, E, multiracial or multi-ethnic, F, Native American, G, Pacific Islander, H, other, I prefer not to answer. Okay, African American 41%, Caucasian 18, prefer not to answer 14, Hispanic 9%, Native American 9%, multiracial or multi-ethnic 4%, other 4%, and those are responses.
And this is the last question. Would you like to receive information through a newsletter or emails about Cumberland County government activities, services, and yes or no? For those of you who answered yes, you can send us your email addresses and any questions to arp@co.cumberland.nc.us.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Shutt. I appreciate that. Ms. Angel, Ms. Brandon, thank you very much. And I want to thank all the citizens for participating in this tonight. You give us a lot of insight, a lot of questions. we have those questions, they'll be part of our record, and I promise you, as the ARP committee, the American Rescue Plan Committee, we'll look at each one of those and do what's best in our community. One of the challenges that we have, and one of the directives that we've had from a number of people, is they've asked us to invest in our community and not spend in our community, investing in our people and investing in our community in lots of different ways. But our goal as a committee is to do the most we can with the dollars to make this a great county to live, play, raise your family in, and continue a lifestyle that we all enjoy. So with that being said, I am Commissioner. Please, thank you, Commissioner Adams. Thank you. The survey will still be going on until July 31st, and you can log in to take the survey, and you can also email your questions to arp@c.us. Your voice matters, so please take the time, call your friends, call your family, and take this survey. I am Commissioner Jimmy Keith, the chairman of the County Commissioners ARP, our American Rescue Plan Committee, with my committee member, Vice Chair, Commissioner Glenn Adams, and Commissioner Tony Stewart, who is not with us. I'd like to thank members of the City of Fayetteville for joining us, Mayor Pro Tem Kathy Jensen, and the City Manager, Mr. Hewitt. Also to our staff, Ms. Cannon, and assistant managers, thank you very much. With that being said, we're going to close this meeting to the public, but please continue to send your questions. Thank you.